Good morning, trainers. The Fossil Cup is coming up real soon, so we're back with another Go Battle League Cup prep guide, so you know just what Pokemon to use. So let's get prehistoric. Welcome back, trainers. So the Fossil Cup is our first brand new Great League format for Season 11 of the GBL. The Cup is restricted to Pokemon with the Rock, Water, or Steel typing. So we're going to go through each of these types and see which Pokemon are best in each. Let's start off with the main fossil type, Rock. And ironically, Rock is actually a pretty bad type for this Cup. Think about it. Rock is weak to both Water and Steel, the other two types of the Cup. So contrary to the name, fossils aren't really that good for this Cup. But let's talk about the one good one, and that's Cradily. Because Cradily is a grass type, it does have an advantage against rock and water types. It'll still struggle against steel types, who we'll later learn are the majority of the meta, but it can provide a lot of coverage against various water types of the meta, so it may be worth building one for the Great League if you haven't already. Moving on to water types, we have a bunch of Pokemon who are great against rock and steel, being super effective on rock and resisting steel, so let's see what's good. Up first, we've got Swampert. We all know that Swampert is great in the GBL, but in a Cup with rock and steel types, Swampert really excels. If you're wanting to use your existing Pokemon for this Cup, you've probably got a Swampert lying around, and it's a great pick. Using the pretty standard moveset of Hydro Cannon plus Earthquake alongside the fast move Mud Shot, this Pokemon will be really good. Just watch out for opponents with grass type Pokemon. Next up, we have Poliwrath. Poliwrath's fighting subtyping is a huge help in this Cup. Poliwrath has several viable moves, but it's best here with Mud Shot alongside Dynamic Punch and either Ice Punch or Power Up Punch. Dynamic Punch makes quick work of rock and steel types, and the other two can be used for baiting shields. But there are a few flying types in this meta, including Pelipper and Skarmory, neither of which we're talking about here today, but they definitely give Poliwrath a run for its money, so definitely be aware when you're making your team. Next up is Ludicolo. Now, I'll warn you, Ludicolo is for a very specific niche in the Fossil Cup. Being a Razor Leafer, it's great against a lot of rock and water types, especially those with a double weakness like Swampert and Quagsire. However, as we're going to talk about soon, there are a great many steel types that will be very common, and Ludicolo will lose hard to many of them. So while this grass and water type can be good, I do recommend backing it up with two Pokemon who can take on steel types. Finally, speaking of steel types, let's talk about arguably the best type in the Fossil Cup. Steel Pokemon are often very defensive, making them great for PvP, and there's several with great moves and secondary typings for this Cup, so let's take a look. Up first, we have Lucario, and it's pretty obvious why it's good for this Cup. As a fighting type, it'll demolish rock types like Cradily and can also take on other steel types. Lucario's biggest drawback is that it's a bit frail, but it's definitely a great choice. For something slightly less frail though, we have Escavalier. Like Lucario, Escavalier makes great use of counter. It may not get stabbed from it, but it's still a good enough move to let this bug and steel type see success. Pair it with Drill Run to threaten other rock and steel types, and you're looking pretty good. You can also try to bait with Acid Spray instead of the more powerful Mega Horn, but a lot of the time you can also get by with just Drill Run. Next up is the GBL terror itself, Registeel. I don't need to tell you that Registeel is great, but in this Cup, Focus Blast and Zap Cannon provide some of the best coverage in all of the meta, with Focus Blast beating rock and steel types and Zap Cannon taking down most of the water types. So yeah, if you have a Registeel for Great League, it'll probably be excellent here. And lastly, one more steel type that's excellent in the Fossil Cup is Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn is essentially a better Cradily, but unlike Cradily, Ferrothorn's steel typing gives it an edge on rock types. Utilizing Bullet Seed alongside Power Whip and Thunder, Ferrothorn is one of the best picks for this Cup if you have one, but definitely be wary of fighting types, its key weakness. Now these are just some of our picks for the Fossil Cup, but there are many other Pokemon that are good in this Cup as well. Any of the picks on screen are also really good choices, so feel free to break the mold as well. Plus, the meta will likely evolve as it goes on, so changing up your team to beat what you're seeing a lot of can be a great idea. But now, I'm handing the mic off to you. What Pokemon do you plan to use for the Fossil Cup? For me, I plan on trying out Escavalier, Poliwrath, and Ferrothorn. Let me know down in the comments below who you're choosing. And if you like this guide, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss future ones. I'll be doing prep guides on the Summer Cup and the Fighting Cup too in August, so stay tuned for those. But until then, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.